Here's what I'm hearing throughout all of this. A big takeaway is that if managed correctly under the right culture, the right opportunity to be your best self, resilient to change, that our people are our greatest competitive advantage. And because, from the dawn of time, it was our product and our service and our prices. That's the way competitive advantage was determined. Jereme, I would love to hear your perspective on what you think one of the biggest competitive advantages is for your business. And does it come down to the people?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it comes down to the people. I mean, it's such a massive difference. You can see it. I mean, I see it in every facet of our business. It could be in the delivery of legal services. When you have a great employee, right? Someone who interacts and manages the client relationship really well versus someone who avoids it almost, right? Who wants to avoid that client interaction. Everything works better, right? When you have that employee that is well-rounded employee, they're client facing, they can do good legal work, but at the same time, they have a great relationship with their clients, right? It creates less issues, right? You retain your clients longer, clients are happier, they're not calling and complaining about their bill as much, right? Because they know what's going on with their case. They're not just getting an invoice because their client attorney's communicating with them. But, same thing in every other facet, right? If you have a top performer, it's going to make everything else easier and make everything else work. If you don't have a top performer, everything else, 99% of the rest of the business is amazing, but that one poor performer is hurting the business, right? Is preventing the business from really performing at its best. And that's really how delicate I find it to be, right? And that's why it's so critical to have, again, recruit the right people, understand what your business needs are, recruit the right people, train them, retain them. It's critical in every facet of it. And it can give you an advantage, to your point, right? As far as a competitive advantage. You have great people, you're generally going to have a great business and you're going to be better than the competition. Now, I think as we kind of talked a little bit about AI, right? And again, kind of the concept that we have is thinking about ways that we can get better and we can improve. Well, tell me some of the things that you aren't getting to, right? That you really want to get to those tasks or to get to that project and complete that project, but you're not able to. But what's interfering with that? Is there something that we can offload? That kind of has always been there's the delegation concept, right? So, you're a top manager. Is there someone you can delegate? Are you a good delegator? Now it's incorporating that AI component. Technology's already always been there, right? AI is just kind of a rapid growth and acceleration of technology and the way that every company has always used it to a certain extent, but now it's even more critical. So it's really trying to get and think about how can we use AI in such a way to offload some of those tasks so that you now have the time to get to those higher level projects that we're not getting to, because everybody at every company, every CEO can think about all these things that they want to get to, right? And we just can't get there because we don't have the resources. It comes down to, well, if we had an unlimited budget, of course we could, but no one has that. So you're trying to think in this AI age, what can we offload so we can get to some of these higher level tasks? It's not, to me, about replacing employees, right? It's about getting them to perform some higher level functions and eliminating some of those more mundane routine tasks. And if we do that, if we can marry the two, right, top performers, great employees, with this getting better, improving every day, implementing AI, then that's, I think, where our competitive advantage is.
Yeah, if people is a competitive advantage, getting them, we all have those proactive things that we want to get to every day and we never get to. So if we can take our biggest asset, our biggest competitive advantage, and make them more productive, they're going to love it too, because we all get frustrated by not getting to those things on our list. Well, what's your thought on people as competitive advantage?
I mean, that's what this whole conversation's been about, right? Like, I could go and I can find legal services. There are thousands of firms that I can go to, whether it's a one-off shop or whether I'm going to choose Baker Law because of the people, right? That's just hands down it. I'm coming to an attorney generally because things aren't going well, right? Maybe there's a happy thing happening, but so I'm also probably at one of my most vulnerable times. Something has gone wrong, or I'm having to think about dying, or I'm right, like all these things. I want to work with really exceptional human beings during that process, right? So I can choose, and I said this before, there's nowhere to hide. So I can go out and I can read all of the reviews. I can talk to people, right? If I'm going to work with Jereme's firm, I'm going to ask for some referrals so I can chat with people that have worked with. That comes down to the humans that are delivering the service. Right. And so it truly is, there isn't much new under the sun, product or service wise. Occasionally, there are some people that are in blue ocean, but more often than not, I'm choosing between people that offer very similar services or products, and I'm choosing based on who the humans are that I'll be working with.
I have to tell you a story that accentuates what both of you are saying right now. I was talking yesterday, did a podcast with one of our clients. They're a technology company and their number one channel partner. And the channel partner told a story that before these guys came in, they had a regime change. He said, they had the market leading product, but I was looking to get out of my contract because I didn't like the people I was working with, right? To him, the market leading product wasn't the most important part.
No, there's might have a couple little, if you're talking software, there might be a couple different features, or there might be, but I'm getting terrible customer service. And oh, by the way, if you're sending me to a bot and that bot is wrong, or I'm frustrated and I'm having to push, 3 trying to get to a human, the humans in the loop are so critically important. It's how we choose, right? We don't, again, I'm going to go back to that belonging piece, right? And feeling like I don't want to be with jerks, even with my service providers, my vendors. I'm still looking for a sense of belonging with them, right? So the human connection is just cannot be overstated how critical it is.